Yeah, put that on, will you?
Thanks, well, just hang on to that.
And they'll move, and it's not violent, it's just, it's a little intimidating. And it's all done with their legs.
For the days leading up to that, we will do security sweeps.
Good girl! Good girl! Good girl! You know, the dogs are looking for odor. If it's windy out, it's blowing that odor all over the place.
If I find out the SWAT team,
He handles all the electronics, and they'll tell you what their duties are in a few minutes.
I'm going to let you take a look at the aircraft. We're going to get everybody in here one at a time. We're not going to touch a lot of things like we were on the motorcycles, right?
I'm Bob Marquis, Rich Ridlon. We're here from the STOP team. So it's basically, we call it STOP, but it's a SWAT team. So it's Special Tactics and Operations. As you can see behind us, we've got our armored vehicle that we utilize. We call this one the Bearcat. She's 19,000 pounds, a little over 10 feet high, with the turret up, with that shield up, that obviously bumps it up a little bit more. We can usually carry about anywhere from 8 to 10 guys comfortably in there with a driver and a team leader, get a couple jump seats and then seats along the side. For operations, we execute warrants. If you've got a bad guy in a house or an apartment, that's what we do. If they believe he has guns or weapons, they'll call us and we'll execute that warrant for him. Lock down the whole area and then have the detectives come in and search for whatever they're actually searching for. Got a whole bunch of guns that we operate. If you want to take a look at those, first one next to Sergeant Ridlon, that's a UMP-40. Small type, it's actually a universal machine pistol. That's what the UMP stands for. Collapsible stock, we can utilize that if we're doing some type of executive protection, or if we're in smaller vehicles other than the Bearcat, if we're in some kind of Tahoe or something like that, and utilize that, keep that strapped up to us real close if we need that. Next one down, that's shotgun. All you guys, Call of Duty, any of you guys play that stuff, yeah? Medal of Honor. 870 shotgun, pump shotgun. Utilizes all different types of rounds. You can use slug, buckshot, less lethal beanbag type rounds is what we normally use that for, our less lethal guys. Great weapon system to use if you need to just maybe put some sock rounds or beanbag rounds on somebody that that won't really hurt them, but it'll get their attention real quick. Next one here, pepper ball system. What we do is the STOP team, what they actually do is help out with CERT and riot type situations. Our CERT team, I don't know if they're here today, but they're involved in riots and search and rescue, things like that. But if we have a riot situation, what we do is we plus them up with that type of weapon system. We can deploy small little pepper, they're like paintballs, but it's a pepper ball, which has like some type of OC spray or some type of chemical that'll make people not want to be around. So that's that one there, that's a purple one, that's inert. What's in that is powder. If it was a red type pepper ball, if you broke that open, it would emit a powder that would not be real nasty, be not too good to be breathing in. So, but we have the next weapon down, that's our M4. 5.56, it's a high-powered rifle is what it is. We utilize it for indoor and outdoor operations. It's got a lighting system on it as well. The sighting system on it, we can either use steel sights or we can use that aim point sighting system, which it doesn't put out a red dot on your target, but there's a red dot inside that little scope you look through. And wherever that red dot is, that's pretty much where the bullet goes. Really lightweight. All of our operators, everybody on the team qualifies with all those weapons you see there except for the pepper ball. We're all qualified up. That's what we do every month. We qualify with all those 3 weapon systems as well as our handgun, which we carry either on a hip holster or somewhere on our side. So everybody qualifies with those weapons. That's our tack vest that Richie has there. It's a pretty heavy vest. Yeah, put that on, will you?
Thanks, well, just hang on to that. Pretty good, run around with that, climb some walls.
It's got ballistic protection for us, front and back plates, boron type plates, ceramic plates. They'll stop around that something like this can pop out.
They have 7 to midnight, so they get 7 per hour. Well, they have, even if he doesn't go anywhere, they have to be on standby in case something happens. First lady.
What kind of watch is that? It's so loud.
The light switch is right here. Turn the lights on.
Do you have to hold this down?
My name's John Nugent. I'm a trooper with Massachusetts State Police. I've been on for 7 years, 3 of which, almost 3, I've been assigned part-time to the dive team, or officially the underwater recovery team, or underwater recovery unit. So most of the divers on this unit for the state police are just assigned part-time. So we have our normal jobs. I teach at the academy. Trooper Maycomber that's here with me today, he works in what's called a CODIS unit, and he processes DNA and other evidence. So we all have other jobs, but on occasion, we're called out somewhere in the Commonwealth to do a diving-related mission. So every trooper that's assigned to the unit carries with them a set of scuba gear at all times. We have it with us in our cruiser, at our house. It's with us so that at a moment's notice we can be called out anywhere in the Commonwealth to do either a recovery mission or a security mission. Those are our 2 main functions, either recovering evidence or bodies or doing some sort of security mission. For instance, when just last month we had the July 3rd and 4th on the Esplanade, there's a big fireworks show and concert. So for the days leading up to that, we will do security sweeps on the bridges in the area and the docks, and just to make sure that everyone there is safe from any threats that you might not see from the land. So we'll do that. We'll also dive on important ships, like any large military vessels that come into a port, or on the Constitution that's docked in Boston. We'll periodically dive on the hull of that ship to make sure that there's no threats to that vessel. So we have the security side of what we do. Then our main job is recoveries. So we'll be usually called by one of the local towns somewhere in the Commonwealth. There's a lot of towns, especially out in Western Massachusetts, that don't have police departments or have a very small part-time police department, and they don't have the assets required to staff a team of divers to do a mission if they have someone who's lost in a pond or a river, or if they have a murder in their town and someone threw some evidence from that murder in a pond. So they will call us out, and we will usually bring as many of the guys from our team as possible, and we'll set up one of these trucks that has all of our more technical gear on it, and then we'll stay out there usually as long as necessary to complete whatever the mission is that they call us out for. So I'll just show you guys some of the gear we have, and then you guys can ask me any questions or bring up anything I might have missed. So over here is just a basic scuba setup. This is what every trooper that's assigned to the team carries with them in their cruiser. This is a dry suit. We dive in dry suits year round. It keeps us protected from any contaminants in the water, like chemicals from an oil spill or bacteria from a decomposing body or anything like that. So we wear these year round to keep ourselves protected. Part of that is also the full face mask. This is not a traditional setup. Usually when you guys see pictures of divers, or if you guys are interested in that sort of thing, usually they just use a regulator and a mask like you'd wear snorkeling. But we wear this full face mask that integrates with the hood, so it keeps us totally protected from anything that might be in the water. It also keeps us a little bit warmer in the winter, and it keeps us extremely hot in the summer. But we wear this. The tank is where we get our air. We have communications underwater. That's the other benefit of having the full face mask, is that we can talk to each other underwater, or talk to the person on the surface that's running the mission. And then, fins and stuff, you need that for diving. So, all right. what we've started using in the last few years to help us in our job where we're in areas where there's no visibility or limited visibility, or we need to cover a huge area and look for evidence, is we've started using sonar technology. So we have 2 different devices we use. The first, and you guys feel free to mill about and come over and take a look if you're interested. This first one is called a sector scan. So what happens here is we'll drop this down in the water right in the middle of the area where we think something we're looking for is. And this sits right on the bottom floor, and then this device spins around and it gives us a 360-degree view of the whatever floor it is, out to whatever distance we set on the computer that this is hooked up to back on land. And it will give us a view of any bumps in the bottom that might look like one of the items that we're looking for, whether it's a piece of evidence or a person that we need to recover. Another version of this is what's called a side scan. This device does a similar function, but this one we can cover a much larger area with, because this piece is tied off to a boat and then is dragged underneath. So it shows the area from above. It gives us a picture again on the computer on the boat. It gives us a picture of the floor. So then we can drive a much larger pattern with the boat, and it shows us what's directly underneath us. So what we use these for is when we see something on the screen that looks like the target we're looking for, then we'll drop a diver down right in that area, and they can go and see if that's what we're looking for. A couple other items we use. This one gets used a lot for evidence recoveries. This is just an underwater metal detector. So you can set it up like this, like you might see people walking on the beaches looking for treasures. It's the same concept, but this item happens to be waterproof, so we can set it up differently and bring it underwater with us while we're diving. But we use this, Trooper Maycumber and myself just used this yesterday. We were looking for some evidence from a murder case out in Western Mass from a couple of years ago. So it's helpful to have these items, especially when it's an older case and whatever piece of evidence we're looking for might have sunk down into the silt a little bit or gotten wedged underneath a rock or something. So it's something we might miss if we were just swimming around looking. But with the metal detector, we'll hear, a ping in the headset, and then we can feel around that area for what it is and figure out 99% of the time it's just a piece of scrap metal or something under there, but occasionally it'll hit and it'll be the actual item that we're looking for. That's the segue into this display we have. This is an older display, but it's just an example, a visual example of some of the items we've pulled up from important cases throughout the Commonwealth in the past. So people will send us to find knives, guns, etc., any sort of evidence from a crime. We've even been sent to look for duffel bags with clothes and things like that. So we will go anywhere and find anything. One of the students in the last group asked about this license plate for the ATV. I'm guessing that is just telling you guys that one of the other functions we do is recovering vehicles such as ATVs, stolen cars that might be dumped in a lake, or boats that sunk because someone overloaded them or did not properly maintain their boat and it sank. What we use when we're recovering these vehicles or any sort of large object is these are called lift bags. We have different sizes for different weights. This one happens to be a 500-pound lift bag. So if we are recovering a vehicle that was dumped in a pond, or sometimes people crash on bridges and go over into a river, we'll set up 3 or 4 of these bags on each of the corners of the car, fill it with air, and then that will lift it all the way to the surface. And then we'll drag it over to the nearest boat ramp or area that we can access it with a tow truck, and then tow it right out of the water. So in the winter, keep this in mind for when you guys are starting to use recreational vehicles, we have a lot of cases of recovering ATVs. People go out on the ice because it's fun and I think they can go faster, but then they get to a thin patch and their vehicle falls through. And then they are left swimming around in a hole in the ice. So it's not something you want to have to ever experience. But we will work with the environmental police, and we'll go down and recover that vehicle so that you know, it doesn't leak any more oil or gasoline into the water. And then if it's not involved in a crime, we'll just give it right back to the owner. So they get a free recovery of their vehicle.
The horses are very good. One of the other groups had asked about whether we ride the same horse or if anyone's assigned a horse. And we're not really assigned a horse, but in those types of situations, crowd control situations where it's going to be loud and has the potential to get riotous, we'll put the same person on a horse because they build a bond with the horse, and the horse has to trust you in order for him to do what you want him to do. If he doesn't trust you, he won't do what you want. For the sake of this gentleman here, I'll show him exactly, you've already seen this, but I'll show him exactly some of the things that we do when we need to move people in a crowd. And if this gentleman was where I didn't want him, I would just take the horse and walk him up. It's hard to argue with an animal when he's this big. And now if I wanted to move people that were over here in a group of people, or people over here that are in a group, I simply move him sideways. And they'll move, and it's not violent, it's just, it's a little intimidating. And it's all done with the legs. You can see I'm using my right leg to make him move to the left. When we ride, everything is done with our legs. When you want to move a horse, the rear end is the engine. So you always want to engage the engine before you move them. So what we do is, if I want him to move forward, I just squeeze my legs and he'll move forward. Now if I want him to move backwards, I'll squeeze my legs, let him move into the bit, but then I stop him and he knows that I want him to go backwards. And there's very little pressure in his mouth right now to get him to go backwards. But as soon as I release the pressure, he stops. And pressure is probably the best way to describe how we move these animals. Pressure on the right side makes him move to the right. Pressure on the left side gets him to move right, and pressure on the right side gets him to move to the left. When we turn them by using our legs and not so much hands. You want to swing the back end around so that you can keep them in a tight circle. Ooh. Good boy. So like I said before, it looks easy, very painful to learn, but well worth it. A lot more fun than some of the other means of transportation, yes.
How do you get on the team?
I'm sorry?
How do you get on the team?
It's a voluntary basis, and each year we have a set number of troopers in the unit full time that have been there. I think the least amount of time anyone has right now is 7 years. But in the summer, we sort of bolster the unit with 3, 4, sometimes 5 extra bodies. And they'll put in for it, and we'll interview them, guys with good records, guys who aren't afraid of the horse. A lot of people say they want to do it, and then you bring them in to see the horse, and they don't want to get anywhere near the horse. So those kind of people aren't really cut out for it. Yeah?
Do you ever like canter and gallop them, or do you just like roll the shoulder?
I'm sorry?
Do you ever like canter and gallop with them, or do you just do walk?
We do, but not a lot. You know, it's not really something we have to do. If we have to go after someone or we have to get somewhere in a hurry, then we will. As part of training with the young horses, sometimes you have to canter them. And when we first train a horse, you want them to learn all the gaits. So you would then, but it's just not. It's like cantering is like speeding in your cruiser. You only do it when you have to.
Any other questions, guys?
My name's Elkin Arredondo.
is John Hannafin. What we have here is one of our newer helicopters. This is it's called a Twin Star. It's made by American Eurocopter, and basically Twin Star for 2 engines in it, okay? So all our aircraft have 2 engines. One engine dies out on us, we'd still be able to land, hopefully get somewhere safe that then our mechanics can come and take care of the rest and we land okay. Basically, our aircraft are all equipped for search and rescue. We have, as you can see, we have a night sun here. It's 1 million candle power. 1 million candle power is a lot of light. If we were to turn that light on right now, it's probably going to burn the grass. And I don't want my boss getting mad at me, so we don't do that today. Yeah, so from pretty high up, we can use that light for a lot of different things. We can make that light zoom out wide. We can make it zoom in real tight. We can use it for a lot of different things. We have a camera on the other side. You're not going to be able to see it from here. We're going to walk around. That camera there, it has a bunch of different lenses on it that we can zoom in like a regular camera uses. And it also has what's called the infrared. So infrared, what it does is it basically picks up heat. So I'll see you as a silhouette, not as so much your body, and you're going to look either black or white to me, and it's picking up the heat, picking up heat off your body. We'll use that for searches. We'll use it during the day. We can use it at night. A lot of people think it's only good to use at night. I use it mainly during the day. Radio stacks. We have a mapping system, a computer system, and a mapping system in the aircraft that basically can tell us and take us anywhere across the state. All we got to do is punch in an address, and you tell me where you live. I punch it in. I get right to your house. I'm gonna let you take a look in the aircraft. We're gonna get everybody in here one at a time. We're not gonna touch a lot of things like we were on the motorcycles, right? Because this is a little different. But just to give you a quick run around, that's our light. Our night sun, we control that. A lot of the stuff that we have in here, the reason I'm good at this, because I played a lot of video games when I wasn't supposed to when I was a kid, right? So a lot of our controls almost look like video games. This is the control for the night sun. So I can turn the light on from here, I can move it up, down, left, right as we're flying around, and I can just, everything's done by this, just by one hand. And then the other controller, I can't reach it from here, it's over here. That's the controller for my map. You know what it looks like? It looks like a video game controller. You just hold it and it's like this. You play video games? Good. Then you'd be good at it. And you're basically just doing that, so, all right?
I got a video, except Matt was in my way.
You're gonna line up over here, right?
Dude,
Go shoot
can
there.
you send that to me?
Come on.
Hey guys, my name's Lieutenant Joe King. Like Major Pryor said, I'm the commanding officer of the K-9 unit.
I'm trigger happy.
And like the Major said, we have 41 K-9s that work across the whole Commonwealth. We got mostly German Shepherds. This is Trooper Tim Blackwell and K-9 Jaeger. Jaeger is a 7-year-old German Shepherd. He's from the Czech Republic. We'll give you an obedience demonstration in a moment. You might hear Trooper Blackwell giving his dog commands in Czech, because the dog was born over there and that's where he first learned his obedience. The dogs can do a bunch of different things. They search for people, bad guys, sometimes good guys, sometimes lost children or missing hikers, things like that. It's not all bad guys, but the dogs will find them based on fresh human odor. The dogs search for articles or evidence. Trooper Liberty just handed out a couple of mock handguns, okay? They're not real, they don't fire. But he asked you kids to hold those guns. You're gonna leave human odor behind on those guns. Everything you touch, you leave behind a little bit of odor. Skin, sweat, oil on your hands stays behind on whatever object you touch. If a bad guy holds up a bank with a gun and he's running away and he throws that gun while he's running. Then the police catch him, but he doesn't have the gun on him anymore. Where's the gun? We gotta find it. One of our dogs could find that gun based on the fresh human odor that's on the gun. The dogs are also trained to sniff out narcotics. Some of the dogs are trained to sniff out cadavers. Some of the dogs are trained to sniff out specifically guns, the gunpowder, the oils that are on the guns. So we'll show you a few different things that the dogs can do. We're in training for a long time with the dogs before they go out on the street to work. Typically, a patrol school class is 14 weeks. The most important thing we teach the dogs in patrol class is obedience. Obedience is the foundation of everything else we do. So Trooper Blackwell will start out by showing you some of the basic obedience steps we do. See Jaeger's staying right with him. Wherever Timmy goes, Jaeger's gonna stay right on his hip. All the time, right on his hip. We need this. We do a lot of different dangerous things with the dogs. We have to trust that the dog's gonna do what we expect them to do. If we tell the dog to sit and stay, it's gonna sit and it's gonna stay. We're on the side of busy highways all the time. You can't have a dog just romping around on the side of a busy highway. That's not gonna end well for the dog. Now you see, Timmy took the leash off the dog. Jaeger's gonna stay right with him, even off the leash. Timmy picks up his pace. Jaeger stays with him. Takes the turns. A lot of you guys have dogs at home. Does your dog stay right with you off leash like this? Can you take your dog for a walk with no leash? Yes. All right. Good for you. You got a well-trained dog, huh? Nice. This is some distance obedience. Shoe style. A lot of times we work with the dog off leash at a distance. Shoe style. So the dogs have to obey us even if they're not standing right next to us. Jaeger's going to stay right there until Timmy tells him he can come. Good boy. And now he gets his reward. Not just all right. When Timmy decides he gets his reward. He's going to do a few more things.
Everything he does is because he wants that ball. He does this. His whole drive is to get that ball. He wants that ball more than anything. And he's not going to go until I tell him to. And I'm not going to let him go just to get it. There, boy, come here. Good boy. Now, he doesn't see it anymore. He forgot where it was. He's going to use his nose to find it. There we go. Good boy!
As you see, Timmy sent that dog first, and then turned him around, and the dog came back before he went and got the ball. That's hard. That's hard. That's like your parents telling you, all right, you can have your dessert now. No, you can't. Stop. That's hard to do, to get a dog to do that, but that's what we're going to do with our dog. Are they both out, Joe?
Not yet.
Okay.
Can I get my other volunteer?
Where's our other volunteer?
You see that?
All right, Trooper Billy McSweeney is going to get out K9 Scully for the article search demo. So imagine now that we just had a crime. We caught the bad guy.
That's good enough, thank you.
We caught two bad guys, but the bad guys don't have the guns on them anymore. Where are the guns? The police chased the bad guy through this field. We caught him down there, but by the time we got him, there's no guns anymore. The guns got left behind. Now, imagine it's nighttime out. Maybe the grass is higher than it is right now. It would take a long time to thoroughly search this field without dogs. It would take a bunch of police officers a long time to really thoroughly search this field. But a dog can do it a lot quicker and a lot better with its nose. When we search for things, we use our eyes. We're looking around. A dog searches for something with his nose. He's going to run around and he's going to find those guns, because right now those guns have human odor coming off. You kids are just holding those guns for a few minutes. Your odor is on those guns. And the the dog is going to locate it. Scully she'll locate the guns and then she'll lay down right where the guns are to let us know that she found something. Scully is a Belgian Malinois. You see, she looks a little different than Jaeger. She's a little bit smaller, leaner, shorter hair. She's a Belgian Malinois. We use a lot of those dogs now. Those are good working dogs, like the Shepherds. They're very, very smart. You can train those dogs to do a lot of different things. So all our dogs are trained to do several different things. They can track people, they can find evidence, they can find drugs, they can go out and apprehend bad guys when we need them to. We'll give you a demonstration of that too. But that's why we use these dogs, because they're smart enough to do several different tasks and do them all well. Now she's looking, she doesn't know what she's looking for. She doesn't know that it's guns out there or what. She's just going to look for whatever's out there that's working. See that head snap? See that? She got a whiff of it. See how she turned around quick? How she's checking it out? Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. She's gonna find watch now. Now you guys know what to look for. When she gets near the other gun, watch what we call the head snap. She's running. When she gets a quick odor, we call it a head snap. Her nose is just gonna get on that odor and her head's gonna snap and her whole body follows behind her head. When you see that head snap, now you know the dog's in the odor and it's close to finding what it's looking for. Imagine Callie and I are finishing up a track for a bad guy. Troop of Liberty is the bad guy. Bad guy, stop right there. Bad guy, stop right there. Stop, I said the dog. Good girl. Good girl. See, Callie's got one good bite. One good bite and hold. That's what we train him to do. We want the dogs to just bite and hold on so the backup officers can get there and catch the bad guy and get him under arrest. Good
That
girl.
guy's yelling right now, get this dog off my arm.
Good girl. Kelly, poof! Nose A. Good girl, nose A. Come on. Nose A. Good girl, nose A. Nose A. Kelly, nose A. Good. Zustan. Bad guy, give up? Nope. Sure? No, food, Kelly, no. Nose A. Nose A. Good girl. Yes. Good girl.
girl.